Hello, welcome back to the Jet Press Podcast. My name is Justin Fried, and we are here breaking down the Jets' 27-14 loss to the New England Patriots, Thursday Night Football, Week 11. I don't know about you, Mike. I don't really have many big picture takeaways immediately off the bat. It's a tough loss. Sucks when you lose, but I thought just as a very quick, immediate takeaway, thought they punched above their weight class. Thought they held in there longer than I thought they would. The bar was in hell. The bar was don't get blown out by a division rival on the road in prime time, and they didn't do that. So I'm happy about that. I don't know how you're feeling, but I'm happy about that.
My goal for the rest of the year is to every single game come away with the thought that once this team gets a young quarterback or a real quarterback, they're going to look pretty good.
Yeah.
I want every game to be saying it's not his fault for the coaching staff. Today, I can honestly say it's not his fault. For
Absolutely.
Aaron Glenn, Tanner Engstrand, and Steve Wilks, all three of them. This was against a superior opponent on the road who just have better players pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
And this is what happens when you get outclassed. I know they beat Cincinnati. I know they beat Cleveland, and they've looked better. But that's kind of the weight class they're in right now as a team. Weight classes exist for a reason.
Yep.
To continue the boxing analogy, they punched above their weight class today.
I agree.
They had a chance to at least make it a one-score game right at the end if Jeremy Ruckert didn't jinx Justin in the worst possible way.
Dude, worst time tweet. It's a thought that I've had about Ruckert for weeks now, and I've been waiting for the right time to say it. And he makes a nice grab, and I'm like, you know what, man? Shout out Jeremy Ruckert. He's having a good year. I think he's been a solid tight end too, and then instantly.
We'll get into all that. First, you know where to find us: Apple, Google, Spotify, Overcast, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there, and on YouTube. You can like the stream. You can subscribe. Both of those things really help. Joining the membership program, that helps. Hyping the video, that really helps. Commenting, whatever you want to do to talk some Jets, that really does help us make more good Jets content. Let's just get into this. Let's go very simple here and do good things, bad things, because there were some good things in this game. Well, I thought that the offensive line outside of John Simpson, I thought they held their own.
I agree. Really quick, J. Mark said, I thought we were going to be a massacre. I agree.
I thought this was going to be 41-6.
And how can we not, Mike? The last 4 times the Jets have played the Patriots on primetime, they've gotten obliterated in games that matter.
Well, Rodgers.
Okay, outside of – I want to strike that game from my memory, Mike, because it's.
But you can't. You're tormented with it.
I know. Outside of that game, it's like the Darnold game, Zach Wilson game. Like there's just been so many in recent years.
Armand is amazing. Before we get into our pros and cons here, the Jets have now a 3rd overall pick on Tankathon. Like
this was if you're pro tank, this was about as good of a game as you could ask for.
Absolutely. So I thought outside Simpson just had a bad game. The offensive line I thought generally held up against a surprisingly good New England pass rush that's better than it has any right to be this year.
Yeah.
I thought that we'll get into some of the receivers. I thought John Mechie made some plays when I did not expect him to make some plays. I thought this was maybe Mason Taylor's best game with a Justin Fields quarterbacked offense outside of Cincinnati. I thought you saw a lot of good stuff from both the tight ends before Ruckert did what he did.
Adonai Mitchell made some plays, some good ones, or one good one, and then a lot of bad ones.
Yes, and then I also thought the running game, it's got TreVeyon Henderson getting the 3 touchdowns is going to make it look like the defensive line got massacred. But for what they had and the situations they were being put in, I thought they actually did okay.
I agree.
There was never really like that 50-yard run or big chunk runs. It was grinding them out, especially early on when May was like 15 of 15 or whatever. It was all dink and dunk, short runs, long drives. Like it wasn't May ripping. Now he ripped things later. He's upsettingly good at throwing down the field, but c'est la vie, they got him in their division now. We got to deal with that.
Yep.
So there were a lot of things where if you look at this coaching staff, especially Glenn, Engstrand, Wilks with an incredibly undermanned roster that we'll get into when we'll do our negatives. We'll get into that. I thought on the road, holding Drake May to what he held him to, I think you take that generally. I think the effort was there. I think philosophically, I like how Glenn kind of game planned him on a short week. Tanner Engstrand, how many points were left on the board? Tanner Engstrand has the ability to commit a crime tonight and not get arrested because he did so many good things, especially early on. And it was blatant poor execution. Well, is that coaching? Possibly, but also this team stinks.
Yep.
Players aren't very good. Players are dropping balls and running the wrong routes, and they're ending up in the wrong places because they stink. Plain and simple. Like you hate to boil things down to the Patriots are good and the Jets stink, but the talent discrepancy, that's kind of where they're at right now. And I feel like Aaron Glenn, he's been through a lot this year. The last 3 games, 2-1, 2 wins. They gave you 2 special teams touchdowns, but they count. And then I would say holding your own on the road on a short week against your biggest rival with a nuclear hot quarterback. I feel like you take that.
Yeah, I agree. I also hate to boil it down to Patriots are good, Jets are bad, but that was a lot of my takeaway watching this game. It was like, man, the D-line can't get any pressure with Michael Clemens and Tyler Barron and Harrison Phillips rushing. I shouldn't expect them to get pressure with those players.
Harold Landry and Milton Williams can get pressure.
Right.
What do you know?
The personnel isn't good. It's like, oh man, the secondary is struggling when they're playing Quantez Stiggers out there and Jarvis Brownlee, who has regressed a lot the last couple of games. He had, 3 good games with the Jets. And then, last game you could excuse it because he was playing outside corner. This one was just a rough one. You're starting to see the Titans Brownlee come out with all these penalties. But
I will say you're allowed to have bad games. I think you may just
you are.
Yeah.
I thought the secondary is better than what they did today. I don't think it's good, but I think they're still, if AZ Thomas is healthy, assuming he is the player we hope he can be, I think they're better than this because I think Malachi Morris, I think, had a good few weeks. Stevens had a roller coaster of a game. He had some really nice plays and then some really bad ones.
As is often the case with him. I will say, as you probably are going to see on the Jet Press soon, any hope that Stevens is going to be like a CB1 that could even sniff the tier of corner Sauce Gardner is, I think even Moore's riding on Azareye'h Thomas now because this is the kind of game where, like, they don't win this game if they have Sauce, but, man, him just deleting every wide receiver one he plays against. What do you know? Even without interceptions, apparently that's a valuable trait.
I'm not going to call out names specifically, but there was a specific Jets person that I saw say that Stevens was having an all-pro season earlier today, and I'm like,
he's having a good season.
We have different definitions of all-pro.
I also saw one guy in your mention saying they should cut him because he's been their Achilles heel all year.
I saw that too.
You have no idea what you're looking at. Just none.
I think people sometimes get a little too caught up in like, oh man, he's been PFF's highest graded corner over the last 8 weeks. It's like, well, that doesn't mean he's been the best corner in the NFL over the last 8 weeks. There's a lot of context we can use to explain why that is.
You were not driving that train, but you were.
Oh, dude, I'm the first to use PFF grades, first of all, to fit a narrative if I wanted to, but I'm never one to say that they are the be all end all because they never are, especially when it comes to something like cornerback play, which is just, it's so volatile week by week because it's just, you don't get many targets usually a game. So there's a lot that's coming down to 5 plays every game. So it's just a small sample size. But no, I thought the defense as a whole punched above their weight in this game. They did what they could. Drake May, what did he finish with? 280 yards. His numbers are going to look really good. 25 of 34.
Had the ball forever after that first quarter.
Yeah, 281 yards, 25 of 34. I mean, Drake May played really well. This is a very good quarterback who had a very good game, but I don't think the Jets defense necessarily folded over. And Travion Henderson, 3.5 or 3.3 yards per carry. The Patriots as a team, 2.4 yards per carry.
You take that.
That's amazing. That's genuinely amazing.
They just had Quantez on Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Given the personnel, the Jets.
And nobody could cover Hunter Henry. That was the other thing. But yeah.
The Jets allowed 14 points in the first half, 13 points in the second half, despite the fact that they were consistently put in some bad situations. I mean, even that last field goal that they gave up, the Patriots start that possession, the 15-yard line, whatever it was, after that Fields fumbled snap. And the Jets still don't allow a touchdown.
What was he doing there?
Just sit on it.
How did he not pick that ball up?
Sit on the ball, eat the play,
and he was so nonchalant. He's like, oh, it's
yeah.
I think your grandpa drops his phone off the table, like, oh, hold on, let me go down and get it.
He
got my knee replacement.
I don't want to be mean, but he thinks in slow motion. He doesn't react quick enough for the NFL game, and it's been a perpetual issue with him since Ohio State. We see it with him every time he's asked to drop back to throw. And even on that play right there, where it's as simple as pick up this fumble and either, eat the play, just sit on it and live to see another down, or actually pick it up and run with it, which was what he was trying to do.
If he was good, it'd be cool and nonchalant, but now it's lazy and nonchalant.
It's not even I don't even think it's lazy. I think it's just, it's slow processing. I don't know how else to put it. I think
it's pick up the ball.
The game is too fast. He thinks he has more time to pick it up and run. He doesn't. His internal clock. He does not realize how quick like how fast the NFL moves. Like
he still thinks it's week 7.
He thinks it's Ohio State is what he thinks. He doesn't think it is, but I just don't think
he thinks they're getting ready to play Purdue next week.
Yeah, it's like it sucks to say that like all the Justin Fields haters were completely right. Like,
oh,
and I hate that.
Totally right.
It sucks.
But also, like he's never been this bad.
No,
like, I don't think anybody was expecting that.
This is the worst he's been. You could argue he's had like 4 of the 5 worst games of his entire NFL career, you could say, have come this year, which he's had 9 starts, and that's crazy. This game specifically, we could talk about Fields. He throws for 116 yards, completes what?
Runs for like 70 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
15 of 26, 116 yards and a touchdown. That's 4.5 yards per attempt there. Justin Fields, he also rushes for 67 yards and a touchdown. I was glad to see them utilizing his legs a lot in this game. I thought he, for the most part, was pretty decisive when it came to using his legs, which was nice to see. He hadn't been that way in the past. I think he looks a little bit healthier out there, but the passing game is non-existent. And yeah, look who he's throwing to.
You watched that last drive though, with the touchdown drive to Mechie, and you're just screaming like, they'll put me in an insane asylum. I'm screaming like, do that more. Like, why does he do it so exceedingly briefly, and then he carries over none of it?
The most frustrating thing that he does, Mike, it's not like just the refusal to take deep shots, whatever, holding on to the ball forever. It's to me, it is you're facing like a 3rd and 12, and he checks it down in double coverage, 7 yards short of sticks.
Zach would do that too. Like he'd hit his back foot, and he's not even attempting to look downfield.
And you know what? And you look at his eyes, and you look at his eyes the entire play. He's staring at the check down. He's made up his mind before he's throwing that ball, but before the snap, that he's throwing it to a check down. No, it doesn't matter that the check down is covered by two defenders, and there's a 0% chance that he's going to make one miss, let alone even catch the ball. He's going to throw that ball. And that is excruciatingly painful to watch as a fan. And I'm sure it's painful to watch for Tanner Engstrand, who is calling up plays that are getting guys open, and he's watching his quarterback do that. It's just so tough to watch.
Let's talk about some other negatives, because there were some guys that were negatives that I did not think would be on this negative list. If you want to hear me say negatives again, sure. Let's stick with the offense, because boy, oh boy, Adonai Mitchell, have you lost all your goodwill with Jets fans? That was as brutal a start as you could have imagined for Adonai Mitchell. It's like, again, it's the Fields thing, because everything I don't know how many Adonai Mitchell haters there are out there, but everything the doubters said would happen, happened. Gets open like crazy, horrible drop. And he didn't drop at Texas, so what happened in the NFL?
I have conflicting thoughts on this performance. Now, obviously a bad game. Like, he had 2 or 3 like blatant drops, and then a couple other where it's like, okay, maybe he can make a play here.
The one where he had to like turn around.
That's a Fields miss.
I don't know about that.
That's a Fields miss. The one that was the hitch, that was his first target. I don't know if that's a Fields missed throw, or if Mitchell was expected to turn the other way and he didn't. You got to remember the guy's only been here a week and a half, and the Jets were hesitant to play him. They obviously didn't play him on Sunday because they didn't think he had learned the playbook enough. I think they think Mechie might be a little ahead of him in that regard. I don't know, although Mitchell played a lot in this game. So it's hard to say, but at the same time, he's consistently getting open. And there's not a lot of guys in this receiver room that can do that. Maybe Arian Smith can do it. I don't know. Arian Smith, by the way, it looks like he's been soft benched for Mechie and Mitchell. He was barely even on the field today from what I saw.
At least let him see what the guy's got, for crying out loud.
It is kind of funny that they bring in Adonai Mitchell and immediately start targeting on these plays where it's like, I think Arian Smith's been open on a few of these that they just.
Yeah. Like, even if you're not his biggest fan, you got to be like, what happened between then and now?
I don't know. I think I'm willing to give Mitchell more time, obviously. I mean, first of all, he's going to be here next year regardless.
And they're going to give him more time.
Unless they're cutting him, right? He's going to be here regardless. I'm willing to say week and a half into his Jet stints, kind of had the yips in his first game. Maybe some moments where he just wasn't on the same page with Fields. Fields expected him to be in a spot, and he's expected to be in a spot that, or he's expecting the ball to be in a spot that it's not. Could be some miscommunication stuff. I think there wasn't some of that. There was one that was just a complete blatant drop, and he's got to catch that. I think Fields zipped that in there, but
he had
still got to be caught.
Man.
Okay, you want to hear my take on that deep shot to Mitchell? I don't think it was as like great of a pass as people are saying. I think if he puts more air under that and he leads Mitchell more, I'm not saying he might still drop it. I'm not saying he doesn't.
It'll probably look worse. Obviously, even better throw.
Let me preface this by saying Adonai Mitchell has to make that catch. That is a good enough ball at a bare minimum that needs to be caught. but it was a little underthrown. It wasn't like a perfect deep ball that people are saying. I think we're just like, it's the best we've seen in probably maybe all season, right? As a deep ball from Justin Fields. So I think people are like latching on to that, but it could have been better. But also, again, Mitchell needs to make that catch. I like what I saw from John Mechie. I'm willing to give Adonai Mitchell more time to.
Mechie did look good.
He did. It was a couple. I mean, the touchdown was wide open because the defender, I think it was Woodson, fell down. But yeah, he made a couple of nice plays. You're looking for anybody to step up in this wide receiver room, and if you're looking ahead to the next few weeks,
I said to Justin, like, it should almost be a hockey shift with Mechie, Arian Smith, and Mitchell. Like, one guy gets a play, then the next guy goes in, then the next guy goes in. Like, there should be no separation between those three because it's all about evaluating for next year. And I think what's probably going to happen is the winner of this competition is going to be the wide receiver 4 because Garrett's 1. You're probably going to sign, I don't know if it's like a Jawan Jennings or an Alec Pierce. I hope Jennings is still my guy. I think he just fits really well with this
Pierce
offense.
might be getting paid. He might be getting
Pierce getting 20 mil is tough.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So if they get a Jennings or a Pierce or whoever it is, then you probably draft a guy, not even in the first round, maybe with one of the second round picks, because this is going to be a really like late first, early second is going to be the haven for the second rounders, in my opinion. And then Mitchell, Mechie fight out for 4.
I hate doing this, but I have to put a comment on blast because
no, what did he do?
Douglas Cerny on.
All right, Douglas Cerny.
I know. I hate
Douglas
it.
Cerny.
I hate it.
How can you watch this?
We got to read it.
And think the O-line sucks.
You got to read it. Douglas says, hard to be successful when your O-line sucks and your receivers, tight ends, running backs can't catch. I mean, a lot of that isn't an.
Adonai Mitchell can't catch.
The tight ends, I know.
Line, do they realize no team? Here's what happens. Sometimes the Jets are good early on, like and entrance script.
Yeah.
Teams always go because they haven't seen Fields a lot. They're like, man, we got to worry about the arm. And then that drive happens and they go, oh, he can't throw at all. And then they stack the box and still they're getting big runs with Fields and Breece Hall because they have a good offensive line. Really, the only guy who's been bad this year has been John Simpson. And again, I still am a proponent of bringing John Simpson back. I think he started off the year okay, and then the last couple games he's kind of tailed off. But Myers has been good, much better than we both thought he'd be.
Yep.
Titman has been good. Membu's been great. Fashanu's been good. How can you watch this team? If you think this O-line sucks, then you just don't know how to evaluate offensive line play. Well, the Fields must be doing great then because he's not holding the ball. Apparently, the O-line sucks. You can't say the O-line and Fields are both bad. One of them has to be mutually exclusive, and I'm saying Fields is terrible.
Well, I think Douglas,
the O-line is pretty good.
I think Douglas is arguing that Fields is not the problem, and he's saying that everything else around him sucks. I think that's the point of this comment. That's my read.
How many years? All right, if everything else sucks around a guy for his entire career, maybe the guy sucks.
I think
he's just the most unlucky guy ever.
Yeah, I think the receivers are clearly bad. I disagree that the tight ends can't catch. I know Rucker had that drop, or it was not the way. Mason Taylor has been. I think he's catching pretty much everything thrown his way.
And he never dropped in college.
His hands have been extremely good this year. I don't know what you're watching if you think the tight ends can't catch. Running backs, they don't really throw the ball to the running backs as much as they probably should. And I haven't noticed. It has not been a big issue with Breece Hall this year. It was last year. It has not really been a noticeable issue in his game this year. The offensive line is not bad. It is the only reason that this offense can even function at times because the offensive line is consistently, as Mike said, carving out running lanes despite facing stack boxes pretty much 50-60% of the time. It's amazing that the offense can function as much as they have with a quarterback playing as poorly as Justin Fields, with receivers as bad as they have, and that's a credit to Tanner Engstrand. It's a credit, in my opinion, mostly to the offensive line. There's a reason that they've said that the blueprint of the offense is to run the ball down your throat and give the ball to Breece as much as you can, but it's because you can rely and lean on your offensive line. The offensive line is the strength of the offense. I'm not sure what you're watching if you disagree with that.
Let's get to some of the comments because the first one I want to get to leads into a lot of the negatives I was about to go off on. JMark19, Wilkes has been way better in the last few weeks. He has, certainly.
Yeah, I think it's
most of the year I've been hard on Wilkes. We've been very hard on Wilkes. With all the injuries, with the trades, because you're not going to replace Sauce and Quinnen immediately.
No.
But they didn't have Sauce or Quinnen. No Azarie. The pass rush was bad already. Now Will McDonald is playing, but he's very clearly hurt.
Yeah, Michael Clemens was out there a lot today, and that's never a recipe for success.
If you told me that lineup was going to go up against Drake May the way he's been playing and the Patriots the way they've been playing, I said they're going to give up 40 points. They gave up 27, and even that was aided by Fields fumbling the ball and some penalties extending drives. Like, if you're grading on a curve, I don't want to say genuinely what can he do. I don't think it's that level. Engstrom, I think, isn't that level where Engstrom's calling a hell of a game and guys are just slipping and falling and dropping and missing play. Like, it's not like that, but the last month pretty much, actually even more than that, because Carolina and Denver, I think Wilkes has been pretty good, actually. I think he just dug himself such a hole with this fan base because it was so terrible early on, but he's clearly made adjustments. Him and Glenn have made adjustments.
Yeah, I think you could still be critical for certain things. Like, I think an over-reliance on man coverage and third down has been really hurting them. I don't think their corners have been able to hold up in that. But so much of the issues of this defense come down to the pass rush. Like, legit, like today, there were so many times where May had all day to throw. I mean, he's playing on easy mode, just sitting in the pocket, waiting for somebody to break open, and eventually someone gets open. And then all I see on Twitter is being like, "Oh, the secondary sucks. Someone's open every play." It's like, yeah, if you got 6 seconds to throw the ball every time, someone's going to get open eventually. It's the NFL. Like, it's impossible to blanket these guys for that long. I don't think the secondary.
They only had, I think, 1 sack in this game. It was Jermaine had 1.
Yeah, and I don't think Wilkes is like doing an amazing job or whatever, but it's hard to be super critical right now, just given the personnel that they have. I'm not at a stage like I was earlier in the year where I'd say, hey, let's fire, we got to fire Steve Wilkes. I don't think we're in a chance right now. We're in a spot right now where we're saying that.
The last 5 games, it's been 13 points, 2 wins, and then a valiant performance against a far superior opponent on the road.
Yeah.
Let's go now with J-Mark. Sherwood has been very good lately. Sorry for that Mo Wilkerson comparison.
He was better.
Not great today, I don't think.
Yeah, he had a couple of coverage gaffes again today, but I think for the most part, he's been a lot better. And shout out Quincy Williams, who's also been better. I think the linebackers, both of them, still they bite on play action so much. It's really
every time.
They bite all the time, but I still think Quincy is a net positive for this defense. That doesn't mean he's gonna be back next year, but I think he's probably still your best linebacker right now, and he brings a lot to the defense that you can't really replicate.
You know what's funny about this defense? Obviously, they have 1 turnover and no picks this year.
1 takeaway through 11 weeks.
I was looking at the interception team leaders because I was thinking like, oh, Saleh, like what would he be doing with this? Niners have 1 pick.
Yeah, well, the Niners were the other team.
And I remember I watched C.J. Stroud threw it literally right to the guy on a miscommunication.
They were the only other team that didn't have a takeaway, I'm pretty sure, right?
And then C.J. Stroud literally threw it ball directly in a guy's chest. It was just a miscommunication.
Yep.
I guess the Jets are just maybe it's residual stuff from Saleh. Who knows?
Maybe.
Brandon R. Drake is top 5. Justin is bottom 5. Drake is top 10.
Yeah, Drake's not top 5. Drake's not top 5.
He keeps this up. One more year of this, and probably
you could certainly say he's already put himself in top 10 consideration right now. I would not argue with that. Justin Fields is unequivocally a bottom 5 quarterback, starting quarterback in the NFL. Given how he's played for a lot of this year,
is he the worst right now?
Yeah, you could. I think Dylan Gabriel's worse still, but man, I don't know. Like you could.
Who would you take? Who do the Jets have more wins with right now? Justin Fields or JJ McCarthy?
It might be McCarthy, legitimately. And you know what sucks? I think Fields is better than McCarthy. I think Fields is just having such a terrible year. Like, and I don't know who you want to blame for that. Like, for why Fields is having the worst year of his career by far with the Jets. I don't know how much of that's on Fields. You could absolutely still blame the coaching staff. And I don't think Engstrom is.
Glad he got the win in the Bengals game, but like that Woody stuff clearly got to him. Like,
yeah, I think he's really in his head. And I hate that. I hate to say that. I don't think Engstrom has been. Like, I don't think this offense fits him. And I will point fingers at the coaching staff for that. Well, I like Tanner Engstrom, and I think he's a good offensive coordinator. I just think that they clearly didn't design an offense that was meant for him. It's very much timing and rhythm based. That's what they want their offense to be.
I feel like they tried to.
They're trying, like they tried stuff with the ground. It almost feels forced though. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels like they're like, well, we know we have to get him involved in the ground, so let's make him do it. And at the same time, it's funny because he's a weird quarterback because he's not, despite the fact that he's this dual threat guy, right? Or, to be a dual threat, you have to be able to pass the ball. First of all.
Mono threat quarterback.
Yeah, so I wouldn't even say he's dual threat, but he's supposed to be this, running quarterback, right? I don't think he's a particularly good option quarterback. He makes the wrong read a lot, and I don't think he sells it well.
He's one of the best scrambling quarterbacks ever.
I don't know how you build an offense around that. You can't.
It literally feels like at times they tell him, "All right, this is going to be your read. If he's not there, just run."
Yeah,
it feels like that's what they're telling him now.
Because you can't draw up plays around him scrambling. That's not how that works. So people will say, yeah, you want to get him involved in the ground and stuff. I don't think that's the best usage of his legs is to, and I see Jets reporters talking about that all the time. It's like after that first drive, like, why did they go away from it? Why did they go away from it? First
Because
of all,
you can't throw 10 times
right.
a game and
Also,
win in the NFL. You have to throw the ball to win.
Also, they went 3 and out on 3 consecutive drives. It's not like they were having these long sustained drives. They had 9 plays, and none of them happened to be a designed run for Fields. I don't think that's egregious, right, to do that. And again, I just don't think that is the best usage of his legs. I think he's more dangerous when he's scrambling, which is dangerous because now you're asking him to throw the ball, which is an adventure in itself.
And then you're asking him to get hit too.
Right. Which Glenn was asked after the game why they went away from running the ball with him a lot. One of the things he specifically cited was we don't want to put our quarterback in harm's way. Understandable. I get that.
Yeah. Brandon R., are any skill players currently on the field in this game that isn't Taylor going to be on the field next year? Brees tag.
I mean, Adonai Mitchell.
Starting offense, that might be it. I mean, Garrett will be, and then Taylor and Brees Hall.
I think Mitchell and Mechie have a chance to be, but they're not guarantees for sure. I also, despite the late game drop, I'd like to see Jeremy Ruckert back. I think he's had a good year.
You can do worse for tight end.
Yeah,
too.
And I think Isaiah Davis will be back too. He'll be back and he'll be RB2 most likely.
The frustrating thing about Glenn is like he's a guy, he loves to coach. He was born to wear a whistle around his neck. Mm-hmm. You could tell he loves coaching young guys too. You can tell he loves developing young players. But the problem with that is look at all these. We're saying, oh, Jeremy Ruckert's developed. Jarvis Brownlee's developed. Like all these young guys are getting there. So you want to point to that as a coaching win, but then Fields just was such a titanic miss that it overshadows so many of those wins.
I think with I'm giving a lot of credit to Steve Hyden. I just think the offensive line has excelled this year. The tight ends have improved too, and I'm going to give him some credit for that as well because of his background as a tight ends coach, and he works very closely with the tight ends too. And I think Mason Taylor has shown a lot this year. I think his blocking has gotten better as the year has gone on, and Jeremy Ruckert went from a guy who I've been saying for the last couple of years has been one of the worst tight end twos in football to a guy who I think is a good tight end two, like not like an elite one, but I think he's a good tight end too. And again, this is bad timing to be making this point. I'm aware of that, but I think he's been solid. I think Andrew Beck has been solid too. And you know, the 2 snaps we've seen of Stone Smart this year, sure.
But before we go to the next topic, kind of going off my earlier thing about Glenn loving a coach, he's obviously never going to do this because he's the coach of the Jets now. But like, I'd have thought, like, don't you think he'd be a great college coach? Like if you went back to A&M or something like that.
Yeah, I do.
I feel like he just has that, like, and some guys can do both. Some guys can't. Bill Belichick. I feel like he's one of the guys who could do both.
Well, he's a big yeller for starters, but he's also somebody that will die for his players. And
those guys are playing hard for him.
That they are
2-8 right now. They are playing for him.
I think he'd be a hell of a recruiter. For sure.
Oh, you go into some kid's living room with Aaron Glenn. He's keeping that kid.
He's got the NFL pedigree too to back it up. Like people respect him.
I feel like if he fails with the Jets or something like that, and he's like out of here in 3 years, I feel like he'd be like the next A&M head coach. I feel like they love that.
Maybe.
J Mark, man, Will McDonald's been very underwhelming outside of the blocked field goal in the Browns game.
Yeah, he's just a streak.
That's the Will McDonald way.
I don't want to get on him too much.
And then Lawrence Taylor, and then invisible for a month.
Yeah, I don't want to get on him too much for this game because he's hurt and
obviously hurt.
He was not playing a ton of snaps in this game because clearly the Jets didn't want to. He had the quad injury, so they didn't want to like throw him out there. But yeah, he's a streaky, inconsistent player who, again, I still believe is probably best as your third pass rusher. I don't think he's someone that should be playing 50-60% of snaps. I just don't think he's a complete enough player to be doing that. But given where the Jets are at right now, he's so clearly their best pass rusher, and he has to be playing snaps because otherwise you're playing, as we saw today, Michael Clemens a lot of snaps. And while I think Clemens has been okay as like a fourth defensive end, when he's been allowed to be that, anytime he's asked to play 50, 60, 70% of snaps, he is so exposed. Like it's an abomination when he's out there for that many snaps.
Sam Shirazian, we have had enough of Justin Fields.
Well, I want to say that, Mike.
Before I get into that, I want to go with another one for Brandon R. Fields will be starting though, as long as he scores a touchdown or two. He gets infinite string.
Do you think Justin Fields starts next week? First, do you think? Not do you want him to? Do you think Justin Fields starts next game?
Yes,
I agree. I think he.
I think who do they play week 13?
So they play Baltimore next week. Then they play Atlanta at home.
I think Atlanta's when they make the switch.
Normally, Baltimore on the road would be such a daunting challenge, and it is now at Lamar back.
Oh my God, Lamar with this defense.
Oh my God! Oh no!
Oh God.
Oh no! Michael Clemens. Oh, he's gonna.
Michael Clemens against Lamar in open space.
Oh my God! I feel bad. Like
He's gonna do like Harlem Globetrotter stuff, like put the ball over his helmet and bring it back out and run around him.
Whenever I see Michael Clemens in open space against a running back in the backfield, I feel bad because he has exactly a 0% win rate on those plays, and he's constantly he's constantly put in that situation, and he never ever he has no chance, Mike. It's never gonna work, and I feel bad because he knows he can't do it. I don't think he's sizing up.
I think the staff knows he can't do it too.
Right.
They try to avoid it.
I'm sure Michael Clemens saw Travion Henderson, squared him up, and I'm sure in the back of his head, he's like, I can't do this. No shot I make this tackle. And obviously he's not going to do it. If he is asked to set the edge against the Lamar Jackson option play next week, Jesus Christ. He's gonna get destroyed.
Tyler Barron against
Oh my God. Quincy Williams and Jamian Sherwood biting on every fake. Oh God.
Quantez playing outside.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough
one. Boy. If they were playing Cooper Rush, I think the Jets might win that.
Yeah,
I think in my entire football career, I've never seen a bigger fall off, obviously because Lamar is so good, between Lamar Jackson as the starter and Cooper Rush as the backup.
What a bizarre signing. Like we gave the Dolphins
can't get a more opposite player.
Right. We gave the Dolphins a lot of shit for signing Zach Wilson because that's just such a terrible fit for that offense. I mean, he's a bad player.
And then he got benched for Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, but like what a awful Cooper Rush is such a terrible fit for everything they try to do with Lamar.
It's almost like a Tim Boyle signing.
Right. And it's like he's not even good, even if you were putting him in an offense that he might be able to have, marginal success in. This one, that's the worst offense he could be in, and two, he's just bad in general. What a weird signing that was.
We joked about Jerry Trotta hating Mozzie Smith. Cooper Rush might be number 2 on that list.
Yeah.
Let's go with J-Mark again. You can see how easy the defensive play call against Fields is because he can only throw to a check down or run.
Yes. It's so easy calling defense against this Jets offense. It is so easy.
Even then they still run for some big
but it's by sheer will at that point. It's by sheer talent from Breece Hall and power from the offensive line. But they're not, they're almost like I don't know. They can't win on talent from their skill players at their quarterback. And if you can't do that, and it's not even that, it's just unplayable at times. It's just really hard to run the offense.
Lane Brandon, I hated the 3rd and 2. Instead of Fields running it, he threw it to Mitchell about 15 yards down. Like, you can't just run every play. Like, you have to.
Third, the 15 yards. Was that the?
I think the one where he threw it behind.
Oh, where Gonzalez. I'd like to see Mitchell fight back for that, by the way, and I think the staff would too. That's a play where how many times in the NFL do we see this every single week? An underthrown go ball gets turned into defensive pass interference because the receiver fights back for it and the corner's in the way. I think if Mitchell tries to fight back for that ball, they might call defensive pass interference on Gonzalez, and he just kind of gave up on it because it wasn't a good pass for Fields. It was underthrown and he kind of gave up on it. I would like to see him fight back for that more, especially when you're trying to make a first impression in your debut game with a new team.
Brian Sternbeck, Mitchell had 6 targets. Breece had 2. Only 1 was designed. Yeah. That is one thing I think that, not to go Benigno, can we throw the ball to Breece, bro? But can we throw the ball to Breece a little bit?
Agreed. They got to do anything
with this quarterback. I mean, come on.
They got to do anything they can to get the ball in Breece's hands. And it's the same thing we would be saying if Garrett Wilson was out there, especially without Garrett.
He should be doing Herm Edwards giving Larry Johnson CTE levels of touches per game.
Yeah.
For Larry Johnson, 500 touches one year or something like that.
Yeah.
It's got to be that level.
Especially with Wilson out, you have to feed Breece as much as you can. And I thought they did
try Isaiah Davis. Right. Use the backs more.
Yeah. I mean, Breece today, 14 carries, 58 yards. Wasn't anything special, but I think he got what he took what the defense was giving him. There wasn't anything really explosive in the ground game. His longest rush was 11 yards, but they got to do a better job of getting him more involved in the passing game. I'm with you there.
Vinicius Cristello, New England gave May a bad O-line, bad weapons, bad defense, and awful coaching staff, and he still developed into a franchise quarterback. Well, because then they got him a good coach and a good defense and good weapons, and
yes, now
he's halfway decent.
The offense is certainly not bad now. They have Josh McDaniels. Say what you want about Josh McDaniels.
He's also May. I think is just idiot-proof talent-wise too.
Yes,
so.
May is really, really good. But say what you want about Josh McDaniels. When he's Patriots OC, he's pretty good at it.
He's not even good when he's another team's OC.
No, it's the one thing
he's terrible with the Rams.
It's kind of wild.
Only with the Patriots because he called plays. I think with the Raiders.
Yeah,
They were terrible.
Stephon Diggs had a resurgence. He's been good. There's some
Everybody's miserable. Go listen to Devontae Adams talk about being with the Raiders. You're like, oh my God, this poor guy.
I know.
Michael Meng with Garrett Wilson back together with Mechie. We could be a good pair of receivers. I wouldn't go that far yet with Mechie.
Yeah, I'm not like the next. How many games they got left? Well, they're 2-8 right now, so they got 7 more games.
7 left.
The last 7 games are just going to be an audition for all of these young receivers. Just prove that you deserve to stick around next year. That goes for Mitchell. That goes for Mechie. Goes for Arian Smith. Goes for Tyler Johnson, who could still be brought back next year. Like even Isaiah Williams, like all these guys. It's just
he's got at least a spot because of the punt return.
Which is why, and I want to ask you this, Mike. I was going to ask you before. Would you bench Justin Fields if you had the choice? Like, would you start Tyrod Taylor next week?
I would. And not even because of some, like, he's a bum, get him out of here. Like, not even that. Mostly just because we know Fields is not the long-term answer. We know Breece Hall is really good.
Mm-hmm.
What we don't know is how are these wide receivers? And Tyrod Taylor, who is not very good right now, gets the ball to wide. And Mason Taylor. He throws to Mason Taylor a lot. And I think that we know he's going to be pretty good, but I'd still like to see him get more involved passing game-wise.
For sure.
But I don't want to say wins and losses are immaterial right now, but that takes prescience is figuring out what you have. And Tyrod does a better job of showing you what you have because his play style is a bit more malleable. Like you have to run the Justin Fields offense if you play Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
You can run a couple offenses with Tyrod Taylor.
The lows are just too low with Fields. That's the problem.
It's sad sometimes.
It's too low. They can't be this low.
The way he's bad is so tough to watch. I think
it is. It's unplayable. And today I think
because like we can't be in his mind, but it's just because like it's one thing to watch a guy who's inaccurate or who just like he doesn't have the arm talent needed. Cooper Rush, like Fields has everything. And you're just sitting there, you're like, it's open, throw it. And you know coaches are telling him nonstop more than we are. It's open, throw it. And he can't – the synapses doesn't fire that quick. Not that he's dumb, just from a football perspective.
Of course.
It just doesn't fire that quickly.
No, it's slow processing.
And everybody seems to love him as a teammate and a guy. He's a good dude. Like, they hated Zach Wilson. Like, this is different than that. Like,
yes.
So you want him to be good, and you're like, please just give me a little something, and he doesn't.
I think it's even more than an evaluation thing, Mike. I think Tyrod Taylor gives him the best chance to win. I just think even when Fields isn't playing, like I don't even think this was not his. He's had 4 worse games than what he did today, which is saying a lot because he was not particularly good tonight. But even when he's not, Mike, like it handcuffs the offense having him there because Tanner Engstrom doesn't trust him to do anything. Like you said, they have to run to Justin.
Why do this to yourself? Like it's obvious they don't trust him.
Like you
is
said,
it like some self-imposed challenge?
They have to run the Justin Fields offense, and right now that Justin Fields offense is so much handcuffing every other part of this offense. It really is, and I think if
they could get Garrett Wilson a catch, for a big play, a catch.
If you start Tyrod, I think there will be more turnovers. I think there will be more volatility in the offense, and you're probably still going to lose football games, but at least you have a chance to do a bit more on offense right now because the margin for error is just so unbelievably thin with Fields a quarterback. Like one holding penalty on a drive, Mike, they're done. They're done. They're not getting a 12, play.
If they get like a negative play or even like 2nd and 9.
Yeah, 2nd and 9.
90% of the time, that's it.
Agreed. Unless they are picking up 5 yards on first down, it feels insurmountable. And that is it can't be the case. Like the lows can't be that low. The passing game can't be that non-existent.
But the good thing though is, and again, I said this at the beginning of the show, if you're watching this team and you're thinking, if they have Mendoza, Moore, Simpson, will this look better? And I think a lot of it will look better if any of those guys are as good. Even if they surprise us all and get Kyler Murray. How many wins the Jets have with Kyler Murray this year? 4 or 5? At least 4.
More than 2.
Maybe 5.
More than 2, for sure.
Mark, I like Mason Taylor, but isn't he a bit misused, it seems? He seems to be a good receiver, but he gets 2 targets a game. Part of it is when they play Tyrod, he finds Mason Taylor.
They're also just barely throwing the ball. I mean, they threw the ball 11 times last game. How many times today? 20. I guess 26 is a decent amount, but you had 116 passing yards, right, on 26 attempts.
That was like, wow, we got 100. Yeah.
Right. They're not throwing the ball enough. It's just nobody's getting the ball enough. I think Mason Taylor's a very good player. He's just you're not going to get enough targets for him because of the quarterback right now. I do want to say this though, because we brought this up in the beginning. Brian in chat said the Jets under Gase lost both their Thursday night football games by an average of 15 points. Under Saleh, 3 Thursday night losses by an average of 16 points. First Thursday night loss was by 13. I will say though, this was
Oprah got a win. He pointed out too. Yeah, that was the Texans game with the Garrett Wilson catch.
What a weird game that
where Brick took the game ball from him.
That's right. That's right.
That was the win. That was the
win. That was the game. What a weird game looking back on. I will say though that 13-point deficit tonight is an encouraging one. Like they were in this game pretty much the entire game. Like they were in it until that final drive where the 4th and 4 and then Rucker just couldn't convert. Like they were actually still in the game until that moment. That's encouraging. Like I think a lot of us went into this game being like, all right, kind of expecting a blowout against a 8-2 Patriots team riding a 7-game winning streak, sitting atop the AFC. I think they're the number 1 seed in the entire AFC right now.
New England,
yeah, they're playing some awesome football, and they're just so much more talented. You traded away 2 of your best players, and your other best players hurt. Right? Like there's no reason that the Jets should have been in this game for as long as they were.
Who's the best? All right, outside of the offensive, outside of Brees, maybe.
Like who's the best player right now on the roster?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it Membu?
Play like performance-wise, it might be. I think it might be Armand Membu, which is your rookie. That's kind of crazy to say that.
It's not Brandon Stevens after this.
No, I don't think it's Stevens, and I don't think it's anyone else in the O-line.
Because it's Brees. So if you take Brees out of it, I mean, who is it?
Yeah, it's probably Membu. There's nobody else on the defense that you could say Quincy or Jermaine, but I don't think it is. You could say Will McDonald. I don't think it is. Sherwood. I don't think so.
You know what surprised me this year? There hasn't really been a lot of back and forth between who's better, Armand Membu or Will Campbell. I feel like they've both been pretty good.
They've both been good, yeah.
So I think there's just kind of like a mutual.
There was a little bit when PFF released their like mid-season rookie all rookie team, and Campbell was the tackle instead of Membu. And people were like, hey, your own rankings say that Membu's been better this year. Why are you saying Campbell is above?
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of discussion there, but no, outside, I think both teams are happy with what they ended up with. I'll tell you who's not happy. Raiders should have drafted Membu, man. Raiders absolutely should have. I love Genty.
You wanted to trade Brees for Genty. That was like the number 2 thing you wanted to do.
I think Genty would be awesome in this offense right now. He'd be fantastic. But I was not Genty over Membu. That was never my take. My take was like Membu is gone.
That was your number 2 option, was trade Brees and Genty, though.
I think you're right. Yeah,
over like Tyler Warren, I think even.
I might have gotten to that point by the end of it. I would have been happy with Warren too. Like I wasn't like an anti-Warren.
I think Genty, watching him on tape, I think he's been good though.
No, he is good. They just don't have an O-line.
Colin Scholl, if receivers don't drop 7 passes, Fields is 22 of 36, 230. Where are you getting that from? And he's still blamed for this loss. Yeah, how dare I blame the starting quarterback for a loss?
Fields isn't solely responsible. Like even if Fields played well, I don't think they win this game. It's the Patriots are just significantly better. Like the Fields,
this wasn't the worst game he played.
Right. The talk of bench Fields is not based on this game. It's based on 5 of the 9 starts that he has had this year. Like it's not based on this one game where, again, I think he was marginally better in this one than he was against Cleveland, than he was against Denver and Carolina. Like he was better in this one, but not good. This was not a good performance, despite whatever fake numbers you want to throw out there.
Okay, there's this masshole guy. You were never in the game, by a loser. Like I don't know what you're wanting here. You want me to acknowledge you? Okay. There you go. You happy for it?
Is it a Patriots fan? I'm guessing that's a Patriots fan.
You hear that? That's the microwave. The pizza rolls are done, man. Go get them.
I mean, is your point that the Jets are bad? Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah,
we know. They're awful. It's so funny when rival
say
fans,
they were going to win. Like I don't get.
It's so funny when we get rival fans coming into these streams and they're just
because masshole because we're in New York, whatever.
Their entire point is just the Jets are bad, and we're like, yeah. What do you think we talk about?
I don't know.
Our jobs are talking about how the Jets are bad. We know.
They always think that we're breaking some new information, and I get the whole like, oh, they're the off-season champs.
You know what it is, Mike?
Shit, but like even then, like
you know what it is, Mike? It's one of my biggest pet peeves in life. Is I'm a big pro wrestling fan, and it's when I talk to somebody who doesn't obviously watch pro wrestling, and they're like, "Man, you know it's fake, right?" Like, oh, Oh,
no,
this
really?
this is a revelation. Thank you for explaining this to me. I was unaware as a 27-year-old man that wrestling was scripted. Thank you for
Yeah,
informing
John
me of this.
Cena, 50-year-old man.
Right.
Did you know
Right.
that he's not really like
No,
fighting guys that hard? Like,
I thought 5'7" Rey Mysterio actually beat 7'2" Great Khali like in a match. I thought he actually beat him up. Yeah.
I thought David Arquette won a championship fair and
I
square.
thought Undertaker was an undead living human being.
I thought he was a zombie dude who
Correct.
had a magical, powerful urn.
Correct. Thank you for telling me this, though. This is
He's like the only character that's still kind of. I mean, he's not around.
He's not around anymore. There's
like the one who lasted, right?
There's a few. Unfortunately, there was the late Bray Wyatt, who was fantastic at what he did. He unfortunately passed away recently, but
let's go to Jonathan Gaucher.
He's not a wrestling podcast.
Pick on me for being negative. I think he also said glad Sauce was the reason the pass defense was bad. I think sarcastically.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, the pass defense was not great with him, right? It's still not great without him.
Maple Yankee, glad to make it for the live stream. Appreciate you two fellas. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Maple Yankee.
Maple Yankee. Saying it's a two-touchdown game is close as laughable. New England was never in trouble.
I don't think they were ever in trouble.
They were never in trouble because the Jets have Justin Fields.
Yeah, they were never in I don't think the Patriots were afraid of losing this game, but the Jets, it was a one-score game for a lot of the game. Like the Jets, it was one score going into the fourth quarter. It was one score for a good amount of the fourth quarter. It was one score at the half. And even at the very end of the game, they were inside, they were in the red zone right on that last possession or close to it. About nearly making it a one-score game like that. That's competitive. This was a competitive football game. I don't know what you want.
Cam Norwood, after he said he was going to leave, but he kept crawling back because he loves us so much. I'm happy now. I'm 100% making pizza rolls. Good call. Okay.
Good for you, man.
Good for you.
Enjoy your night with pizza rolls. That sounds fun.
Your celebratory pizza rolls.
Yeah. But I to put a bow on the field stuff, I'm with you, Mike. I would start Tyrod Taylor next week. I don't think the Jets are going to do that. I think they're going to roll out Fields for another week because I think he wasn't unplayably god-awful tonight. And that's
even when he was, they're not benching him.
That's the bar that's been set. I think if he was unplayably god-awful tonight, I think they bench him. I think the bar has just been set so unbelievably low that this could be seen as progress from the coaching staff, and they'll give him another chance because they invested so much in him, both monetarily and just in structure in the offense. I think they're going to be so hesitant to bench him because once they bench him, they're not going to want to go back to him. So I don't think they do it, but we're not going to know. We're not going to know for another 10 days because Glenn's not going to tell us. So we're not going to know until
we're not going to know ever. So
we're not going to know until they take the field against Baltimore. That's when we're going to know.
Alex Latordo can't sleep because he had shitty Dunkin' coffee.
Is that a Boston joke?
Dunkin' used to be a Boston thing. And
no, I know. There's a Dunkin' everywhere.
That's the headquarters is up there.
There's a Dunkin' on every other street corner in Boston.
I don't even drink coffee. So, Jonathan Gaucher, if Glenn starts Fields, that show he doesn't care about winning. No, I think
no. I don't.
It's not Saleh, Boyle, Wilson, Simeon level where nobody was NFL caliber, and he's like, look. I trust me, it's still somehow worse. It's not like that, but you can either be 2-8 with a run-heavy offense or 2-8 with a pass-happy offense, and you'll score a similar amount of points if we're being totally honest. The running ability Fields had, legitimately, it helps the offense, especially running the ball. That is an asset. It is still, even as bad as he is throwing, teams have to account for it. He can still make plays like that. It still impacts how you have to play him. But, and I get why he doesn't want to really throw that away, but everybody's got a breaking point. And it's getting to the point where we're losing Garrett Wilson reps, and he got hurt twice now because of bad Fields.
Exactly. He got hurt because of Fields.
We're losing Mason Taylor reps. We're losing Arian Smith reps and Adonai Mitchell reps and John Mechie reps. At a certain point, they're going to say, all right, we need to see what these guys can do. And if they get 2 targets and 1 catch every game, we just can't do it.
Yeah, I think we're going to get that point ASAP. I think we're nearly there. I don't think you're that off base, Jonathan, with that take. I don't think it's that Glenn doesn't care about winning, but it's harder to excuse by the week continuing to start Justin Fields. And again, I think
also they're trying. I don't want to say trying to tank, but I don't want to say winning's not a priority. But
the staff winning is top priority for the staff. The staff is doing everything they can to win every single game. Like that is the top priority for the staff. I know they want to get the young guys reps too. They're trying to win games every single week. And I'm sure the front office and the organization as a whole isn't upset about losses, but the staff is trying to win. They're doing their damnedest. So I think Glenn wants to win. I think Glenn's trying to win. I just think they have a lot invested in Fields. And like you said, Mike, the running aspect, I think they believe is a big part of their offense, which it kind of is. Like it's kind of fair. But you're going to get that.
Really was kind of bringing a knife to a gunfight, and he still got a couple cuts in, I think is.
Yeah, but there's only so many weeks you can continue to run out this quarterback and justify it. And I think,
I mean, Tyrod really at a breaking point. All right, what is the final score if Tyrod plays this entire game?
It's probably pretty similar. I don't think it's that dissimilar.
That's the thing, though. It's just you're losing chocolate or losing vanilla.
Well, I don't think they win this game regardless. I don't think they win this game regardless, right? Maybe they make it one score if Tyrod's there.
They're just. I think that's the thing is like they're more watchable when they lose. Like this is an offense that's hard to watch.
It's a better product, and like you said, you get better evaluation reps. But more importantly, I think it gives you a better chance to win. You're not going to probably win on the road on prime time against New England, but you can win against Atlanta, I think, if Tyrod is starting. Maybe you can even steal a win against the Ravens if their defense is just that bad.
They did almost beat Denver in a neutral site game.
Right. So. Well, Denver is so phony. They're such a phony team.
They're still good.
They are, they are good. They're not. The Patriots are better than the prime.
Yeah, but neutral site game, that is.
Agreed. No, agreed.
I think I've gone 5 weeks in a row now, 5 games in a row, 6 weeks now, where I really have not said once, man, Aaron Glenn is really struggling as a coach.
No, I think this is a third game in a row that I've been encouraged by the staff. And that's really good because you remember these conversations a month ago.
Yeah. And right? even in the Denver and Carolina game, that was literally Fields can't play.
Yeah, but it was also like, man, he can't play. Why are you still throwing him out there? Like that.
Well, then they got rid of him, but
yeah, but not the Denver game. The Denver game was brutal. That was a bad Aaron Glenn game.
I've never seen a quarterback single-handedly lose 13 points, but still.
The not attempting the Nick Folk field goal because you didn't know how long it was. Like that was a brutal Aaron Glenn game. That was the lowest I'd been on Glenn all year. It's gotten a lot better since then, and I think the staff is headed in the right direction. Which, if you're going to take anything away from this game, this was a competitive, like moral victories, whatever, right? No one should have gone into this game expecting a win. If it was a competitive football game, which I don't care what you say, this was a competitive football game for the most part, for most of this game. Competitive loss on the road against an 8-2 division rival on primetime is a victory in my mind for this staff. Like, I think the staff did what they could here.
And then one last thing, J Mark, when are you ready to have the Kyler conversation?
It'll happen, man. It'll happen. I don't know if we're going to happen tonight. I don't think it's going to happen tonight, but it's going to happen sooner than we think. Maybe on Wednesday. Maybe that's when we broach that subject and we start looking ahead to the quarterbacks for next year because we're both pretty much obviously out on the quarterbacks on the roster right now. The Kyler conversation
knows we gave him a chance, man.
The Kyler conversation's coming, and I want to preface it by saying I don't think either of us, if we say anything positive about why the Jets maybe could or should get Kyler, will be doing so under the pretense that he is going to be the guy. Like, I think if they bring in Kyler, it is an upgraded like field situation where it's like, okay, we don't love this quarterback class. Let's bring in Kyler Murray, give him a chance to prove he can be the guy on he's not going to be, I assume it'd be still the contract he's in Arizona unless
if they cut him.
I think they could trade him for something still. I don't know. It's not going to trade him for like a high asset, but I think they could still trade him.
Is Kyler a Glenn type player though? What does that mean?
I don't know what that feels like. Is he alluding to the like
video
game stuff?
About the video game
stuff.
The read the playbook thing. I think people are still.
My
concern with him is just.
I was going to say more importantly, is he an Engstrand type player?
Not even that. It's more like unless you're like a Lamar Jackson, which is just like a one-of-one insane football talent. Kyler's a one-of-one insane athlete. I mean, he was a top 10 pick in baseball too, on top of football. But I just worry about with how he plays. I just how that's not going to age very gracefully. And I think that he's gotten hurt a couple times too now. I'm just worried about how he's going to look.
Oh, I'm not. If the Jets were to bring in Kyler or wherever he goes next, I would not be confident in him like figuring it out and becoming the player. Like, I think at his peak, he was a borderline top 10 quarterback. I'm not confident he ever gets back to that
point. Kyler was very close to that.
Yeah, I'm not confident he ever gets back to that point though. But yeah, my concern would just be, again, you want to run a rhythm and timing offense. Kyler Murray is probably not the guy you go after, right? Like They might have more success. Do I say this?
No, I know who you're going to say. Don't do it.
I'm going to get destroyed for this. And again, this would just be a bridge. They might have more success with a Mac Jones. I'm just saying.
Oh, that wasn't where I thought you were going to go.
No, I'm not going Kirk. You think I was going Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, you're going
no, Kirk.
Yeah, in fact, you did a worse option.
I'd rather, and this is crazy.
Let's try everyone.
I'd still
try Mac next year, then Trevor Lawrence the year after.
You're telling me if Mac Jones, how many wins do the Jets have Mac Jones lead this offense right now?
Probably 4 or 5. But how many quarterbacks can we say that of?
My point exactly. Well, I just
with
think
Kyler they'd have 4 or 5.
I think he's a much better fit for the offense they're trying to run. Like I'm not. Look, I wouldn't want to root for Mac Jones. I wouldn't.
If the Jets had Tua, they'd have 2 more wins.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, 2 is better than Mac Jones.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you can go down the list of quarterbacks that would have won Denver and won Carolina. It's numerous.
I think Mac's playing some good ball in San Francisco. Now, obviously, again, the caveat will be he's got Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan to the
right.
Jets.
I'm aware. Kyle Shanahan made CJ Beathard look like a capable NFL quarterback. I'm aware.
Nick Mullins
at points looked like a capable NFL quarterback. But I think as a bridge option, I don't think it's the worst idea if you're not going to draft a guy. Like, if honestly, you don't want to invest in Kyler, like
if they're bad again next year, are you going to give them a 3rd year with a rookie quarterback?
Well, it depends what level of bad they are, what degree of bad they are, right? I don't know.
I just don't like that idea. Or it's one thing if it shakes out that way, but I remember last year was 2026 class is loaded.
I know. And
then what's going to happen next year? If Arch is bad again and Dante Moore comes out this year,
just throwing out options because it's an impossible conversation to have now in November without knowing where the Jets are going to pick, what quarterbacks are going to be in the draft, and what their stocks are going to look like. Because right now, you might say Fernando Mendoza's QB1, but if he shits the bed in the college football playoff and Ty Simpson plays well, all of a sudden Ty Simpson might be QB1. If Dante Moore,
Riley Leonard looked great in the college football playoff. Didn't help his stock.
Well, Riley Leonard was never going to be a first-round pick, and I think people knew that. This is not Ty Simpson and Fernando Mendoza right now. I think there's going to be teams that already have Simpson ahead of Mendoza. There's clearly analysts that already have Simpson ahead of Mendoza. I think there's a genuine conversation between those two.
I think people are really overestimating the fall off of Dante Moore.
Well, I just don't know if he's going to be in the draft. That's my, if he's in the draft, he's in that conversation too.
Simpson might not. He only got the 1 year.
I think Simpson's more likely to be at this stage. That'd be my guess. I think Simpson is in the conversation for the number 1 overall pick. I don't think Moore is right now. But again, it's November 14th. In 3 weeks, it might be completely different. Like the narrative changes so quickly. That's why I'm just throwing out all these potential options. If you don't want to invest in Kyler, you don't want to take on that big contract, you don't think he's a good fit for the offense, what other bridge options might there be? Mac Jones, the free agent. He's playing some good football right now. Hell, maybe you go after a Jacoby Brissett if Arizona doesn't bring him back.
Right? Jacoby Brissett and Aaron Glenn just seems like a crash course in 2-15 and you're fired. Does it not?
Well, no, because they're 2-8 right now, and I think Brissett's significantly better than Fields. And they've already won 2 games with Fields, right? I think they can win more than 2 games, especially if you do what they're supposed to do, right? If you're not going to bring in a quarterback next offseason, then you're using those draft picks on players that will help the roster outside of the quarterback. You're going to spend in free agency. The roster should be a lot better next year. And even if you have Jacoby Brissett as your quarterback, you could still be competitive.
I'm no friend of the Giants, but man, looking at Tankathon, seeing the Jets 3rd and the Giants 4th again.
It sucks, man. New York football, man.
I'm no friend of the Giants, but to just see both of them this bad for this long. I know the Giants have Dart now, and they're going to get a new coach, but I mean,
it stinks.
My goodness, what a wretched city for football.
It's an interesting note here from Brian. Brian said, depends on the trade terms. Trading for Kyler is effectively a 2-year commitment due to vesting salary guarantees. If it's a salary dump trade on the Arizona side, then sure. Very flexible contract for an acquiring team, but you need to have the stomach for a second season with him. That's not worth anything more than a day 3 pick for me. Yeah, I don't think he would go for at the maximum. I think a 3rd is probably what his value would be at this stage right now,
which the Jets don't have.
Jets don't have. Maybe you do like a 2nd and they send like a 4th and a 5th or something like that. I don't know. You make it work somehow with the picks. I think. Well, I agree that it's a 2-year commitment for sure. Like if they get Kyler, it's not a 1-year thing. The thinking would be you get Kyler. You don't draft the guy here. If he's not great, you draft someone in 2027 and Kyler is your bridge. Like that would be the thinking. It's just
Aaron Glenn's going to go 3 years with never starting that young franchise quarterback.
Well, 2027, I think you might end up turning it over.
You might get half of 1 year. Like, that's tough.
Yeah, maybe. Look, the timeline's not great right now because I don't love their quarterback options for this offseason. It's just they're in an unfortunate position where I don't think they have any great quarterback options unless someone magically becomes available. If like a Joe Burrow somehow becomes, available, right? Then they have all the draft assets required
Dolphins will get him
to make a move. I mean, the Jets have 5 first-round picks. They're not going to get outbid for Joe Burrow. If Burrow becomes available, if they want him, they can get him. Like, and that same goes for,
Burrow on the MetLife turf, though.
Okay, man. All right, man.
After Rodgers, how can I not?
I get it. I understand. But
Rodgers has put so much not the 2024. The injury put so much scar tissue on my brain, football-wise.
I'm just trying to throw out as many different quarterback options as possible because it's November and I don't know.
And it's not Justin Fields, so
yeah. I don't know what the situation is going to look like. Come March, right? I don't know what the draft position is going to look like. I don't know what the draft stock's going to look like. I don't know. I don't know what anything's going to look like. But just throwing out some names. I think Mac is someone to keep an eye on. Maybe Brissett, Kyler. We'll have that conversation soon enough. I'm sure. Maybe we'll do the quarterback conversation on Wednesday. We'll see.
And with that, we'll wrap up another Jet Press loss. But again, we now have done, of our last 5 post-game shows, we've had 2 great defensive performances that a quarterback with an IQ that isn't the IQ of a grapefruit, probably the football IQ of a grapefruit, probably ends up winning. A win for Nick Mangold. We got a win again, special teams.
Yeah.
And then a loss that the Jets were more competitive in than they had any right being.
Yeah.
This is not as doom and gloom, especially since they already waved their white flag with the trades anyway. There's stuff, if you're looking forward to next year, there's stuff to look forward to, and I think this game showed it. All I want to see for the rest of the year is, man, Aaron Glenn, once he gets a quarterback, who knows? And this is a game where I think you can start saying that.
Yeah, I agree. I think the last 3 games are games where you can really be saying that. I just think it's been encouraging stuff from the staff. They've turned it around a little bit. Again, the bar was in hell. The bar was so low. A month ago we were talking about, man, is Aaron Glenn going to go one and done? Right? If they go, could this team go 0-17? Like those were conversations, and they weren't crazy at the time.
Really quick on that, I was reading, I think it was a Fox Sports article, and they were doing a hot seat rankings. For somehow Glenn was at number 5.
No.
And they had this, they're like, well, I know that they already said he'd be back. I know the locker room's playing hard, but won't they get upset with losing? I'm like, okay, so everything's going good, but what if this made up scenario I just made up comes to happen? That's sometimes what they did.
Content is just created for the sake of content. There was another article that I saw.
Oh, Brian Sternbeck, Murray Fields straight up might be the actual trade terms. And then the Cardinals just take like Lenore Sellers or something.
That'd be nuts just to get off his contract.
Both, hey, you take them.
That'd be
both
crazy.
Of us.
Obviously, Fields is 1 year less of an investment, or 2 years less of an investment, I guess. That'd be crazy. That'd be nuts. If they can get off the Fields contract in that deal too. I mean, I like that a lot. I don't know if Arizona does that. Maybe the Jets include a pick as well. But maybe Arizona just is so desperate to get off that contract that they're like, sure, man, we'll just take it. I don't know. I don't know what
die with Jacoby Brissett.
It depends what his market. It depends what his market's going to be. I don't really know. Like, I can't even think of feasible landing spots for him. He's a weird. No, for Kyler. He's a weird player to try and figure out.
My pick is. Like I've said this before. I think he replaces Aaron Rodgers with the Steelers.
That's if Rodgers isn't back next year. Rodgers might be back next year.
Did you see that chart? You saw that Chargers
game. I know he shouldn't be back, but Rodgers said he'd be open to it. And I think the Steelers were like,
Rodgers says a lot of things. He also has a totally fake made-up girlfriend that doesn't exist. So
yeah, I think
literally he did. My girlfriend goes to another school, and he's 42.
On a different note, I think the Raiders could make sense for Kyler. Just Geno's been terrible. Pete Carroll's on a really short time frame. So
that team seems more like a wait until 2027 team for a quarterback.
But like, why hire Pete Carroll then? What's the point of that? He's going to be dead before they get a quarterback. Like,
remember, some Jets fans wanted Pete Carroll over Aaron Glenn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like we can't start taking victory laps on Glenn yet. These 2-2.
I know, but like,
yeah, no, I agree. I'd much rather have
this. And there are a couple other games I can literally go to other people that don't like Glenn and go, "You try to win with this," and I think I have an argument.
I agree. Encouraging loss, moral victory, whatever you want to call it. I'm sorry, man. I'm encouraged by this game. That's my takeaway from it. And then other than that, they don't have a quarterback. Maybe they'll one day get one.
Okay, and then maybe one day apes will retake the earth.
Which will happen first. Tune in next year to find out. Until then, though, thank you all for joining us on the show today. You can follow Mike on Twitter at @ByMikeLuciano. Follow me on Twitter, Justin T. Fried. Follow the Jet Press at the Jet Press. Download the Jet Press podcast where your podcast. Check us out on YouTube and TikTok. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. You can also become a member today. We stream live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, so it'll be almost a full week before we're live again. We stream live immediately following every single Jets game, but the Jets don't play this Sunday, so enjoy your Sunday. Watch some actual football if you want. Sit back,
watch a guy throw for over 100 yards and not be pulling teeth to do it.
It's a miracle when you see two.
Watch guys correctly dive on fumbles.
Watch a football game where both quarterbacks throw for 200 yards. Your mind will be blown. Thank you all for listening to Jet Press Podcast. I've been Justin Fried. That's Mike Luciano. See you guys next time.
See you guys for hopefully to avoid 2-9 because
we'll see.
My God, I don't want that to happen.